Back at Braves camp here at ESPN's Wide World of Sports for 680 The Fan's continuing coverage of Spring Training 2019. Kevin McAlpin coming to you from Champion Stadium. It is Friday, March the 15th. Braves had the day off yesterday, and they get back at it today. The Miami Marlins are in town, and you may have heard about a young Braves outfielder who's red hot here lately. No, I'm not talking about Christian Pache. I'm talking about Ronald Acuna, who has reached base safely in 9 consecutive plate appearances. He's going to take that streak to the field here today when he takes on the Marlins. And it has been just a treat to watch Ronald Acuna and how dialed in, how locked in he is here throughout the last week or so of spring training. He actually hit for the cycle in 4 consecutive at-bats between Tuesday and Wednesday's game at West Palm against the Washington Nationals. Extra base hits. Matter of fact, he hit one to right field into the wind that on a normal day probably would have landed in the parking lot. He had to settle for a triple. So Ronald Acuna Jr. is certainly locked in here with a little under 2 weeks to go until opening day. Matter of fact, opening day is 2 weeks from yesterday up in Philly on March the 28th. Cannot wait to see these games start counting for real. And believe me when I tell you, here now in the middle of March, everyone around camp is starting to count the days until the Braves will turn this thing north and get ready for the games to count for real. Shaun Newcomb gets the ball for the Braves here today. And the one thing I like what we've seen from Nuke is the last couple of years, if he didn't have a feel for his curveball on a certain night, he may have to go away from it altogether. He might not throw it hardly at all, but I think what we've seen this spring is the ability of Shaun Newcomb to find that release point, to find his feel a lot quicker than we have the last couple of seasons. That is a very encouraging sign for the Braves' young left-hander, who they're going to count on very heavily here this season. You recall, Mike Foltynewicz will not be ready to start the season. Mike Soroka, who we thought we'd see in the opening day rotation, he is not going to be ready to start the regular season. So you're looking at a rotation to start the year of Julio Teheran, Shaun Newcomb, Kevin Gausman, and in my opinion, Kyle Wright. Kyle Wright has done everything to earn that opportunity, but you can say the same about Max Fried. Touki Toussaint has looked good his last couple of outings, and Bryce Wilson has been impressive here as well. So none of those young pitchers are going to make that decision easy on the coaching staff or the front office, but in my opinion, Kyle Wright is the leader in the clubhouse, and it is basically his job to lose at this point. So again, Newcomb, I really like what we've seen. I like the mound presence. I like the demeanor when he's out there on the mound. Not a guy who gets easily rattled. You won't know if he's up 9-0 or down 9-0 when he's out there in the mound. So Shaun Newcomb really making some significant strides here throughout the course of not only last season, those first couple of months, but here in spring training, he has come to camp and he looks great. Offensively, the team has been swinging the bats well. I like the ABs we've seen from Brian McCann. Most importantly, B-Mac's healthy. That right knee just bothered him all last year. And when you're thinking about a catcher and when you're thinking about a left-handed hitter, that's the leg he'd be coming down on every time he swings the bat. So he's healthy. He feels really, really strong, and his at-bats have looked good. Same can be said about Dansby Swanson. I really like the at-bats we've seen. He doesn't have a lot to show for it. So if you looked at strictly stats, you might not be blown away by Dansby's spring. But the ability to go the opposite way. We've seen him really kind of focus on trying to shoot the ball to right field, letting the ball travel deeper on him, use those hands, keep him back, and go the other way. That, to me, is a good sign for Dansby Swanson. So, again, the at-bats from him have looked really, really good. Offensively, I like what we've seen from this ball club. Freddie Freeman's been in midseason form since his second at-bat of the spring when he homered off the scoreboard off of his face here at Disney World. So offensively, I like what we've seen. From a pitching standpoint, that remains the biggest question mark between now and opening day. And again, it does seem like things are trending more and more towards the direction of Julio Teheran being your opening day starter for the 6th consecutive year. Jim Powell, Joe Simpson, they've got the call of the Braves and the Marlins. Last time these two teams will see each other here in Grapefruit League play, and then they'll see each other 19 times during the regular season. And that is a 1 o'clock first pitch here at Disney World, and that'll be on 1340 AM and 103.7 FM back in Atlanta. And, of course, you can always catch the games on the MLB At-Bat app as well. Braves have a long road trip down to Fort Myers to take on the Red Sox tomorrow, but that is one of the real jewels of the Grapefruit League, is going down to see JetBlue Park in Fort Myers, about a 3.5-hour drive from the complex here in Disney. Don't expect to see a lot of the regulars make that trip tomorrow. But again, first things first, Braves and Marlins here from Champion Stadium. It's a 1:05 first pitch. And again, Jim Powell and Joe Simpson with the call on 1340 AM and 103.7 FM. And of course, make sure you're following all of our coverage on social media at 680 The Fan on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll have videos from the clubhouse. We'll have our daily podcast as well. Of course, these daily rundown videos on what to expect as well. So a little over a week until the Braves head back north. A week from this Sunday is the game in Northport. A week from Monday and Tuesday, a couple of exhibition games against the Reds at SunTrust Park, and then a flight to Philly for the start of the regular season. Believe me when I tell you, the guys in that clubhouse, they're ready to go. I think a lot of us are as well. So again, appreciate you tuning in to our daily rundown. We do it every day from spring training right here on 680thefan.com.